So for question 1, describe a workplace experience from the last 30 days and analyze the experience in terms of the leader's behavior. So the example as a whole, the main example that I have would be a staff meeting, and that would be with the principal as the leader in my setting because I'm an educator. So the principal would be the leader. And in this case, I think our principal did a fairly good job of, leading fearlessly and acting fearlessly. And I say that because in terms of determining goals, he was very clear and very concise on what goals that he wanted to accomplish in this next month or so a couple weeks until our next staff meeting. So one of the goals was to increase our PBIS expectations for our kids. And so with that being a very clear goal, we were able to set, mini goals within that to accomplish this goal for him. So I think that that's a great example of him acting fearlessly. And then for the second one about communication expectations, he is a very good listener. So with setting the goal, he was very open to teacher ideas. What did we think was going to work best for increasing this PBIS incentive for these kids? And he very clearly communicated back like, okay, yes, that's going to work because of this, or no, we can't do that because of this. So he's very clear with his expectations, especially with communication. He's got open door, come and talk to me and I'll be very clear and honest with you and, open and just straightforward. And it seems to work really well in the school that I'm in. And then lastly, addressing positive or negative deviations from expectations. I don't really think we've dealt with negative deviations from expectations. I think they're mostly minor, and what I've seen so far of him is that he is very understanding and very honest. So for example, if somebody was to miss a meeting, that would be a deviation from the expectation. So I think he would kind of ask like, hey, why did you miss the meeting? Was there a specific reason? And then going off of that would, then kind of determine how he responds. So I coach freshman volleyball. So if I had to miss for a game and I forgot to communicate that with him, 1, it would be very poor communication on my part. But 2, he would then, ask me like, hey, what's going on? Okay, next time you need to send me an email and speak to me in person so that way I've got it documented. So I do think that our principal acts very fearlessly. Those are my examples for that. And then for question 2, what are your 3 takeaway points about being fearless? My first takeaway would definitely be being an active listener. And that's simply because with my principal, he does a fantastic job of listening to employee concerns, helping us to alleviate any issues we might have, or, working with us to come up with a common solution for everybody. And I think that being an active listener is a fantastic way to maintain those work expectations. The second one would be giving positive feedback. And I think that this is important because it boosts morale. As on a more personal note, as a new teacher to this district, it's been a very rough transition going from high school down to elementary. So there are many times where I feel like, wow, I'm really just like, I'm not doing great today. And so he's actually done a really nice job of saying, you've done this really well, and, you've done this really well. So I appreciate that as a new teacher. And then going along and tying into that is my third point, and that's being able to give constructive criticism. And he's also done that as well, and he's given me ideas of, you did this well, but maybe next time try this because of this. And so I've actually been able to take that constructive criticism and apply it, and more often than not, it works out. So, those are my 3 takeaways.